And they all said, James, 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 how are you? No, nobody really said that. Many people in England didn't really like James the First all that much. Why not? Well, he's got a lot of catching up to do because who did he come after? Queen Elizabeth the First, the Virgin Queen, the politique. Okay, so whenever James the First comes to king, he's not a Tudor. Instead, he's a Stuart. Okay, so you can remember that he's kind of small, little Stuart Little compared to the great, magnificent Queen Elizabeth the First of England. James the First, he says that he's going to be coming and ruling England by divine right. He said that only the king could call the parliament and dismiss them. This is something that you see with absolute monarchs. They don't like to play fair with parliament. They want to reserve all the power for themselves. I mean, hey, look at Louis the 16th and think about how long it was until the States General was called. It was 175 years. Another thing that he does, even though he's coming from Scotland and it's all about, the Calvinist up there in Scotland, he does not want to give power back to the Calvinist Protestants. And the Calvinist Protestants in England are called the Puritans. They're called the Puritans because they want to purify the Church of England, where most of them were members at. They thought it was too connected to Catholicism. But even though James is up there from Scotland originally, he doesn't want to play like this because by giving up some of his power, by giving some of his power up, he's afraid that he might lose it all. He actually comes up with this phrase saying, "No bishop, no king." In other words, if you don't control the church and the faith, well, then your own power goes down. Some of the people in England got so mad that these Puritans up and left England. Some of them, they wound up in Plymouth, right? There's three things about the Stuarts and James the First that you need to know. What three things did he want to do? Number one, he wanted to unite England and Scotland. Number two, he wanted to create a standing army. That's another characteristic of absolute monarchs. And number three, he wants to create create royal finance with the parliament. At least he's playing a little bit nicely with parliament. But as we're going to see, the guy that's coming up next is James the First, and he's not really wanting to have that sort of connection between the two. Anyways, guys, that's James the First. Have a good one.